Ask Reddit, what is the least commonly known fact you know? A shark is the only fish that can blink with both eyes. That it takes 3 times the heat to melt the oxide layer on aluminium than it takes to melt the aluminium itself when welding. Zebras will always move towards a black and white striped wall. Jeremy Bentham's shriveled embalmed head was used as a football once. It was on display at University College London from 1850 to 1975. When a group of students stole it, demanding that a £100 donation be donated to charity. They returned the head, but it was stolen a second time, and used as a football by prankster students. After it was returned the second time, it was removed from display. Edit. Since posting this, I found this banger about Bentham's head. Not my song though. So have fun listening and give them some love. A volcanic eruption 70,000 years ago, Mountain Toba, almost killed the entire human population. Alcohol doesn't make you lose your memory, it stops you forming memories while you're drunk. When losing weight, the lost mass leaves your body through exhaled breath. Charles Henry Sanson, royal executioner of Paris at the time of the Revolution, was in charge of executing revolutionaries and royals. In his diaries, he described particular executions that he found peculiar or difficult, and he wrote about executing Louis Capet, or Louis XVI, as a religious man who believed in the sanctity of the king. He felt extremely guilty after the king's death and even sought solace with a priest. He was also allowed to keep the pair of shoes worn by the king. His diaries were only divulged decades after the fact, and if the revolutionaries had learned of Sanson's feelings, he would have probably been the next head in the basket. Sometimes dropping a satellite TV box from 5 feet will fix it. Why, you ask? Sometimes the switching relays that choose between even and odd transponders get stuck. We call it a 5-foot adjustment, when nothing else works, as a last resort before sending back. I literally take the bad box outside, hold it out straight-armed and flat, and drop. It worked more often than I'd like to admit. The name Dustin derives from an Old Norse name, Torstein, meaning Thor's stone. 1 in 100 babies will have a congenital heart defect. It's the #1 birth defect worldwide. When people hear congenital heart defect, they usually think it's just a hole in the heart. While that's true, there's over 35 congenital heart defects anyone can be born with. Only a few are genetic, the rest sadly just happens. And there's no cure. It's lifelong. Even open heart surgery isn't a cure. I have 5 congenital heart defects and I do my best to raise awareness for CHD. Even though it's the #1 birth defect worldwide, somehow it's not well known, and oftentimes people don't know the true facts about it. And that needs to change. Due to my health and very, very long list of other health issues, I can't do a lot. I spend about 90% of the time at home because doing everyday things are getting harder. I'm in my 2nd round evaluation for heart bilateral lung transplant. But I can do this to educate people about congenital heart defects. If you're ever planning to beat someone up with a baseball bat, wrap a sock around the end of it so if they grab the bat, it'll just slide right out and you can continue to bash them. Penguins will offer others sex for materials for a nest. Dry erase markers erase permanent markers from nearly anything. Red hair and blue eyes is the rarest combination. Pablo Escobar's cartel spent $2,500 a month just for rubber bands to hold all their cash together. San Marino's national soccer team have won one single football match ever. They have lost over 300 matches. A lot of common vegetables are man-made by crossbreeding cabbage, similar to the process of developing a new dog breed. Broccoli is the result of Italians breeding cabbage more than 2,000 years ago. The Tesla Model X is too heavy to drive over the Brooklyn Bridge. Legally speaking, despite being incredibly wealthy, IKEA's late founder drove a 30-year-old piece of crap Volvo. If you were to buy all the bolts in a Pagani Huayra, it would set you back $112,000. The word bookkeeper is the only word with 3 double letters in a row. How wide your mouth is actually plays a big role in your attractiveness. Don't ask how I learned this. Unless it's a movie drama dealing with social issues. In particular poverty. Everyone has such fucking nice flats. College dropout with part-time barista job. Why yes. The spacious loft with a view over Manhattan's skyline is just down my alley. There's a law in Germany that says if a beekeeper's bees leave the hive then they're the legal owner of the bees only as long as they're in pursuit of them. If for some reason the swarm merges with another beekeeper's bees then the rightful owner is the beekeeper that remains in pursuit. Like a last man standing kinda deal. The largest shadow ever photographed was cast by the rings of Saturn onto the planet's surface. Wombats poop cubes. Their intestines have ridges to shape it so it doesn't roll away in order to mark their territory. There are more trees on Earth than there are stars in our galaxy. 3 trillion. Edit. Also the mother of Mike Nesmith, the guitarist in the Monkees, invented liquid paper, the typing correction fluid. Humans and giraffes have the same number of cervical vertebrae. A team of scientists were working to genetically modify bananas to be resistant to tropical race 4. A fungus that destroys the banana but isn't noticeable until it's already too late. The head scientist worked tirelessly, trying to create the perfect banana that was also resistant to TR4. He finally did, but the public complained about the taste. He hung himself. When the dwarf planet Eris was originally discovered, the astronomer who found it was a huge Xena warrior princess fan. Until it was officially named it was known as Xena and its moon, Dysnomia, was called Gabrielle, Xena's sidekick on the show. I have no idea why I know this. If a compressible fluid flows through a long duct with friction, it will theoretically exit at the speed of sound. If your eyes each see a different picture, and they're just a little different but not too different, you'll alternate between seeing out of one or your other eye exclusively and seeing a combination of both pictures. Discovered this as part of my ongoing PhD in visual perception. You didn't say it had to be an interesting fact. The common European pigeon has 2 long-range bird calls. A 3-note woo woo woo, that is a bar of 5/4. https freesound.org/people/dobroider/sounds/27931/ and a 5-note woo 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 woo, that is a bar of 17/8. https freesound.org/people/squashy555/sounds/31951/. Oranges didn't actually exist until humans came along. They're actually a crossbreed between pomelos and tangerines.